Hi, in this video I want to discuss the 2 times when Denver home prices did drop. But first, I want you to know that since 1971, Denver home prices have appreciated at 6.3% a year on average for 50 years. That means home prices have doubled 8 times in the last 50 years. But there have been twice when Denver home prices did drop, and let's discuss that and what had happened and why this happened. The first one was going back into the mid-80s. From 87 to 88, home prices did drop 4%, from 105,000 average price to 101. So what caused that? Well, know this first. The Metro Denver area and the whole state of Colorado entered a major recession in 1985. When oil and gas companies just busted. So many of them went bankrupt or went out of business at that time. Second, we had, because we had a high unemployment rate. Also, just know this, banks and what are called S&Ls or savings and loans did a lot of speculative lending and exotic mortgages where about anyone could buy a home with zero money down. And homeowners were expecting home prices to continue to soar like they had been, and so did the banks. And during this time, because of all this, from 1980 to about 84, there was all this euphoria in Denver and the state of Colorado, and builders could seriously overbuild both homes and commercial real estate. And what was interesting to find, I found an article written about 1990 from the Denver Post describing the area at that time, that by the late 80s, Denver was known as the see-through office building city. There were so many vacant office buildings in downtown Denver that you could see through the offices, see through the windows from one side to the other side of the building because they were vacant. That is how much they overbuilt. By this time, by 1986, 87, our real estate market here in Denver had seen 10 or more months of inventory of homes for sale for 4 consecutive years before prices finally dropped that 4% or $4,000 back in the mid to late 80s, okay? If you're really digging this information, please share it. Please subscribe to my channel because this is the kind of info that you need, the kind of wisdom that you need, your friends need, co-workers need to help you make a great decision. The next time home prices dropped was about 2006 to 2008. Now this time prices dropped considerably, on average about 25% here in the Metro Denver area. And here's 5 different reasons of what caused that. One was we had what I always called fog and mirror loan approvals. Basically, if you had a breath still in your lungs and could fog a mirror, I could get you a loan. There was loans for people with no jobs, no income, no assets. All we had was a credit report and an appraisal in the file, and you could buy a home. So that caused demand just to soar because of these exotic mortgages that come out and been created by Wall Street. Second, we just had rampant speculation in Denver and across the country where people, I remember this, were buying new homes one day and then reselling them for $30,000, $40,000 more the next day. And they just thought that gravy train would continue forever. And just know this, Denver was the first major city in the country to experience both short sales and foreclosures. And the reason why it started to happen here first is we were seemed like the test beds for these exotic mortgages. But I want you to know this, with those subprime loans back then, yeah, they started out at a decent rate of maybe 6%. It wouldn't be decent today, but it was then. But they were all in a 2 or 3 year adjustable rate mortgage. So after 2 or 3 years, often their rates went up a minimum of 3 to 5%. And all of a sudden, those people couldn't afford their payments anymore, and thousands of them on a monthly basis were losing their homes either to short sale or foreclosure. And they had to sell, and when you have to sell something, you're willing to accept any offer you get, which really caused prices to drop. Fourth is, from 2002 to 2005, home builders built 80,000 homes. And based on population growth, we really only needed about 25,000 new homes. And I remember remarking when I read this, like, I think we now know in Colorado who was smoking weed first. It was home builders, because they so seriously overbuilt. And by 2006, they had 30 months or 2.5 years of homes for sale. And the existing or used home sale market had another 6 months. So at that time in 2006, we basically had 3 years of inventory of homes for sale. And just so you know, in reference, today, between new and used, we might have 1.5 to 2 months. Yeah, so, just ask you here, do you see the similarities? There was a lot of speculative lending and buying and investing both times. Home builders and office builders seriously overbuilt because of that speculation as well. Months of inventory of homes for sale went soaring, which helped to cause prices to drop. Thank you for watching this video. Please share it, let others know about it. And if you have questions or comments, post them down below, because I want to hear from you. And in my next video, I'm going to explore what is the #1 metric to determine the health of any housing market in the country. And I think you may be surprised there.